Putin told his cabinet today to wait for further talks with Europe and Ukraine before demanding prepayment for supplies to Ukraine, which owes more than $2.2 billion for gas it imported through March. An Australian aircraft Thursday detected what may be the fifth signal coming from a man-made device deep in the Indian Ocean, adding to hopes that searchers will soon pinpoint the object's location and send out a robotic vehicle to confirm if it's a black box from the missing Malaysian jet. An Australian Air Force P-3 Orion picked up a possible signal that may be from a man-made source. This is IRN USA Radio News.
You probably knew that Thomas Edison gave us the first commercial light bulb. But did you know he invented alkaline batteries and an electric train? Edison said, if we all did the things we're capable of, we would astound ourselves. Hi, how in the world are you anyway? I'm Andy Willoughby. For almost 2 decades, I've been helping families build home businesses. Many have been astounded at what they've been able to achieve. Today, I want to introduce you to my newest and most exciting home business concept ever. It's MaxAchieve.com. If you'd like to earn $500 to $5,000 or more a month working from home, check out MaxAchieve.com. This is more than a home business. At MaxAchieve, we want to help you experience more success in all areas of your life. To find out how you could astound yourself, go to MaxAchieve.com. That's MaxAchieve.com. Or call 800-801-3465. 800-801-3465.
General Motors said Thursday that it had suspended 2 engineers with pay as part of its internal investigation of its decade-long failure to recall defective ignition switches in Chevrolet Cobalts and other small cars. GM's chief executive Mary Barra said the 2 employees who were not named had been placed on paid leave after a briefing with Anton Arvalukas, a former United States attorney hired by the company to investigate the switch problems. Several government investigations are seeking answers from GM on why it did not fix a faulty switch for years that could suddenly cut off power in vehicles and disable airbags. The company has so far linked 13 deaths to the defect. In a case pitting arguments about the freedom to love against a conservative state's right to limit marriage to one man and one woman, a federal appeals court will hear arguments today over whether Utah violated the Constitution by banning same-sex marriage. It will be the first time that an appeals court has weighed the issue since the U.S. Supreme Court handed 2 major victories to gay rights supporters last summer, striking down a law that denied federal benefits to same-sex couples and clearing the way for same-sex marriages across California. This is IRN USA Radio News.
If you like painting and saving, ask Sherwin-Williams and save 40% on paints and stains during our 4-day super sale, April 11th through the 14th. With 40% off our great paints and stains and 30% off painting supplies, you can give your whole home a color makeover. But hurry, these savings are so super, they won't be around for long. Find your nearest store at sherwinwilliams.com/sale. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Doctors in New York City are urging residents to ensure that they and their children are immunized against a recent outbreak of measles.
With a measles outbreak infecting New York City, this Staten Island mother is taking no chances. Even though her son's appointment was planned ahead of his first birthday, she's getting her son the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination. Pediatrician Dr. Omar Rodriguez is one of many in the Big Apple urging residents to take precautions. 24 people, including 11 children, have already contracted the disease. Rodriguez attributes the outbreak to declining vaccination numbers in foreign visitors. The disease starts with a high fever. About 3 days later, a rash develops, which lasts approximately 5 days. ER Dr. Robert Glatter says the key to keeping measles at bay is maintaining high vaccination rates.
Remember that measles is a very highly contagious viral illness. Those that are unimmunized are in about a 90% chance of getting the disease if they're not actively immunized.
That was correspondent Nathan Frandino reporting. Police say a 7,600 square foot warehouse served as the business hub for a sophisticated multi-million-dollar theft ring that stole items from southeastern Michigan retailers and resold them on the internet. Veteran investigators said the shoplifting ring, which swiped as much as $15,000 a day in over-the-counter drugs and other goods from area stores, is the largest they've ever seen. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
You take any prescribed medication, sir?
You got a lot of nerve, honey.
This is the Frankie Boyer Show.
Isn't she fabulous?
It's about getting well.
What do I get?
And staying well. The Frankie Boyer Show. Getting well.
Do you need to throw up?
Staying well.
Listen.
This is the Frankie Boyer Show.
Welcome. Hi, everybody. It is Frankie Boyer. Nice to have you with us on Biz Talk Radio. Well, we all drive. There are about, I don't know how many people in this country have their license, but I'm sure John Prosser, the second, knows what the answer is. But you may be a car accident away from bankruptcy because catastrophic auto accidents happen in an instant, and they can truly change your life forever. And my question is that, why is it that there is just one state in this country, one state that has a model that really and truly works for giving accident victims all the services they need and preventing people from going bankrupt? Because you know and I know that when I mean, even the smallest fender bender can affect lives, can change a life in just a moment. John, what a pleasure to welcome you. You're the president of Neurotrauma Associations and vice president, Health Partners, Inc., and a board member of the Coalition Protecting Auto No Fault. So why is Michigan the only state in this country that protects us?
Well, I don't have an absolute answer for that, Frankie, but my guess is because the insurance companies enjoy it the way that it is, which is kind of ironic. If you go back to 1972, when Michigan started down this very unique and brilliant path of our particular model, the insurance companies actually helped lobby for this particular outcome to become manifest. And the reason that they were interested in it had to do with the fact that at that time they were spending 33% of every premium dollar on litigation costs. And so by getting on board with this new paradigm, if you will, which put the focus of importance, the number one priority in the hierarchy of considerations, on patient care, that's what our legislature did. They said, hey, something's got to give because it's the same today, 2014, as it was then in 1972, and that is that there's a bleak landscape on a national basis to take care of this population of people that suffer a brain injury or a spinal cord injury as a result of a catastrophic auto accident.
I just saw a story in Boston about a young boy, just as you're talking about. The father had to stop work because he was a single dad taking care of the two boys. One was autistic. It's just the whole story, John, broke my heart. And this man lost everything, and he had to give up his ability to work. It stinks all the way around. And that's just one small story.
Well, that's right, but it's a silent epidemic, Frankie. I mean, it is tragic. I think I shared with you that my background involved in providing in-home nursing care through Health Partners for the last 20 years is what compelled me to get on this mission. In Michigan, we have all of the comprehensive coverage, the finest model in America to care for these people. But in every other state, these poor souls are suffering injuries. Brain injuries are at a rate of about 800 per day, and spinal cord injuries are about 24 per day. And those people, the path that they take outside of Michigan is through bankruptcy, because you go to the hospital and you sign the paperwork and you agree to pay for the excess of what's not covered covered by your auto policy or your health policy. And then the bill collectors start coming after you. So Harvard did the study on that. 60% of our bankruptcies in America are directly related to medical bills, and we know that the catastrophic injuries from auto...
Slow down.
There's
a lot here to digest. 60% of all medical say that number again.
Well, 60%. Harvard Medical School did the study. 60% of bankruptcies in America are caused by medical bills.
Yes.
And we know that the medical bill costs of people that suffer catastrophic injuries are very high. As a matter of fact, auto injuries can generate $1 million in medical costs before the injured person even leaves the hospital. I mean, we're talking about the super acute, somebody who suffers a spinal cord injury and a brain injury. And we also know that of that population, those people that suffered bankruptcy after their injury, 75% of those people had health insurance.
Okay, I want to go back a little bit.
Sure.
Because you're on for a double segment. I don't usually do double segments, but I really want to get a handle on this of what, first of all, what we can do. Secondly, as consumers, our lives can change in an instant. And that's why I also wanted to do this story, because it's so relevant to every single person who gets in a car every single day.
That's right.
My big concern here is not just the patient, but the family as well. And
brilliant observation. Yeah, that it impacts them.
It impacts everybody.
Right.
It really trickles down and impacts everybody, the whole family unit. What we are seeing is we're not hearing about these stories. They're not making the news every day. And my question to you is, what do? We have one state in the country that gets it. What can we do to get Massachusetts on board, to get New York on board, to get California, to get these states back on board?
Well, the answer is the Neurotrauma Association. And what the Neurotrauma Association is all about, our sole mission is to raise the consciousness in every other state, because so many people have called and asked about, why do you have this in Michigan and why does our state not have this? And so we said, fine, when any listeners can go to the Neurotrauma Association website, which is neurotraumaassociation.com, and we have a blog, and you can tell your story at the blog about how you've suffered a terrible injury, about how you are underserved, about how you are undercompensated under the model that you have in your state. You can share. There's a public service announcement by international best-selling author Mitch Albom, which encourages people to take the action step and share the details that are at the Neurotrauma Association website about the Michigan model, and take that to your legislator. Call your representative.
By the way,
call your senator.
Mitch is the author of Tuesdays with Maury.
That is correct. He's an incredible compassionate man who is from Michigan. And when I sat down and told him, Mitch, look at how much good you can do if you lend your very credible name to a public service announcement, he was stunned. He was like, John, how can it be that we're the only state in America that has manifested this beautiful concept? Because the key, of course, is the resources that are there for all of the people that are injured.
So do we want a no-fault? Is that what we want, a no-fault insurance?
Yes, that's exactly what you want. But you want no fault with the specific global coverage that the Michigan model alone provides. Because right now, New York State is a no-fault state. There's only two forms of insurance for automobiles in America, Frankie, and that is fault, or what's more commonly known as tort. And that means 38 states in America operate under a tort system, which means if my family is hit by another driver, I get to sue that driver to try to collect the money to get the resources that I need to take care of the injuries that my family sustained, myself or my loved ones. Fault says the courts grind slowly and you have to wait. Whereas this new model, which came about back in the 40s and then it was revisited in the 70s, which is called no fault, No fault says, wait a minute, what's really the priority here? The priority is the care and the recovery and the rehabilitation of catastrophic injuries sustained in an automobile accident. So we're going to pour all of our resources into that model for the benefit of the people that are injured. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it prevents the bankruptcy. It saves our state government billions in Medicaid costs. And it created tens of thousands of jobs in the medical sector. And at the end of the day, the most important part is it's comprehensive. Michigan has lifetime medical benefits without limits. And that starts from the very beginning. You're going to get your airlift. You're going to get your emergency room, all of your hospitalization, all of your doctors, all of your medication, all of your surgeries. You're going to get home modifications where they drop down the counters and they widen the doors and they put in roll-in.
So extraordinary that it's not causing Michigan to become bankrupt. We need to talk more about this, and so that's why I wanted John on for a double segment. John, as we go to break, the best website, and if you don't think this affects you, think again. If you're getting into a car any time in a day, this absolutely affects you, because accidents, that's just it. You never know. Life can change in a nanosecond. And John, what's the best website?
The best website is neurotraumaassociation.com. It's all one word, neurotraumaassociation.com.
Okay, we'll be back with John in just a moment right here on the Frankie Boyer Show. Stay tuned. This is really an important subject, one that no one is really talking about, and we really should be. Does your state have a no fault? No, unless you live in Michigan. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Why do I use the Spry Dental Defense System? Because it tastes great.
Because fillings are ugly.
There are a lot of reasons to use the Spry Dental Defense System, a complete line of oral care products such as toothpaste, mouthwash, gum, mints, and more, made with 100% xylitol. But the best reason is because it works. And because it's all natural, Spry is 100% safe for kids. There are even Spry products developed especially for your children and toddlers.
Because my dental hygienist told me to.
Because it's all natural.
So ask for Spry by name whenever you buy toothpaste, mouthwash, gum, mints, or anything else for your mouth. And make sure you're receiving all the benefits of 100% xylitol products.
Because I want a great smile, duh.
Why do I use Spry? Because it works?
The Spry Dental Defense System. Great taste, less fillings. For information or to purchase Spry, visit sprydental.com.
Available at Whole Foods, Vitamin Shop, and other fine natural products retailers.
From helping florists manage their first payroll, to checking sales projections for logistics companies, to showing garages how much they've been paid, to pursuing leads for multinationals, Sage Software helps businesses manage. Whether it's accounting, payroll, payments, ERP, or CRM, Sage gives you the control to look forward with confidence. Visit sageconfidence.com.
Hello, this is Scott for Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food. Lads, your lawn is a living, breathing thing, and right now it's hungry. So it's up to you to feed it today with Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food. A prompt feeding now in early spring and another in late spring strengthens and helps protect your lawn from future problems. Go on, put down some Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food this weekend. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Visit scotts.com/GoYard for the chance to win a $25,000 backyard makeover.
What do you mean you got there exactly on time?
Ever since we started using Fleetmatics to keep track of our trucks and vans, our business has been running really smoothly.
Are you telling me you've cut your fuel cost?
The boss doesn't have anything to yell about anymore, but some habits are hard to break.
Oh, great. Another call from a happy customer.
Fleetmatics takes the drama out of business. Make fleet tracking more intelligent with real-time tracking, fuel monitoring, and more. Visit fleetmatics.com/start or call 1-877-350-DEMO for intelligence at work.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
Hello, this is Scott for Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food. Lads, your lawn is a living, breathing thing, and right now it's hungry. So it's up to you to feed it today with Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food. A prompt feeding now in early spring and another in late spring strengthens and helps protect your lawn from future problems. Go on, put down some Scott's Tough Builder Lawn Food this weekend. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Visit scotts.com/GoYard for the chance to win a $25,000 backyard makeover.
Welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer, and we are in the middle of a conversation with John Prosser II. He's vice president of the Neurotrauma Association, president of the Neurotrauma Association, vice president of Health Partners, and board member of the coalition Protecting Auto No Fault. And that's what we're talking about for those of you just joining us right here on the Frankie Boyer Show. You may be an accident away from bankruptcy. Catastrophic auto accidents can happen in an instant and change your life. And John is so passionate about this because Michigan delivers the best care in the country. And my question is, I don't understand why. If this is a no-brainer, and it sounds to me, unless I'm missing something, John, welcome back. This to me is a no-brainer. Why are we not seeing more states taking on this Michigan model? It's a win-win for everybody, it feels like.
That's right. I think it is going to happen, Frankie, and you're having my epiphany. I mean, in Michigan, we've been providing the in-home nursing care, for instance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For the past 40 years, this has been a covered benefit, and no one else has this anywhere in America under any kind of a plan. I do believe that the governor in Florida is very interested. As a matter of fact, he would like to, he sent a correspondence, he'd like to set up meetings. But, the answer about why the legislature hasn't acted upon this yet is because of term limits, I think, in good part. There's a lot of issues in every state, and since auto insurance is a state issue instead of a federal issue, it's about how many of us, because we're so busy doing what we do, stop and look over the fence and say, what are they doing? But that was my epiphany. And I said, wait a minute, if we can take the message to the people and show that this is a system funded by drivers for drivers, and we use a simple reinsurance model where presently it's $186 per car per year that goes into the reinsurance fund. And our fund in Michigan, we have $17 billion of excess asset reserves funded by drivers for drivers, so it saves our state billions in Medicaid costs.
Hey, I would be there in a heartbeat if it were offered. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
That's right.
Because you see, I understand that next accident could be me, a loved one, a friend, whatever. It's just the reality of life. We all think it's going to happen to someone else, but it really doesn't. It does happen to us.
Every person that I've ever met, Frankie, every one that was paralyzed or brain injured, none of them thought it would happen to them.
That's
and
right.
I've met hundreds.
Right.
Now, you mentioned New York. New York State is going to spend $55 billion this year on Medicaid, and they believe they've estimated that it could be 30% of those people are bankrupt due to an auto accident, and now they qualified for Medicaid. So if New York State adopts this model, which I anticipate they will provide the lifetime medical benefits, they will save billions in Medicaid, they'll prevent the bankruptcies, and they'll create tens of thousands of jobs, and it's all funded by drivers for drivers. It's the finest model in America, and I really believe with the help of people like yourself who have a large audience and people who are sensitive to the rate of incidents, 25,000 brain injuries a month and thousands of spinal cord injuries a month all over America every single day. So it's going to happen, and that's what our mission is about. And people can go to the website, neurotraumaassociation.com, share their story about how they've suffered from neglect because they have no resources and their loved ones are paralyzed, and somebody has to quit their job to stay home and take care of them.
And take care of people.
It's freaking horrible. It's
really
an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But we're optimistic, and it'll happen. It's just a matter of time and effort.
I want to ask a naive question because I'm not familiar enough, and please forgive my lack of knowledge about the insurance industry, but why could this not be rolled out, or why cannot there not be legislation to do it statewide around the country?
Well, you could. Well, the simple answer is it's a state's issue, meaning the federal government doesn't mandate or regulate that every state has to do their model a certain way. But the fact of the matter is, this is the landscape nationwide. Every other state, people are buying an insurance policy. So the real question consumers have to ask themselves is, what's the value of my insurance policy? And I would submit that no matter what price you pay for your auto policy, Michigan's average is $1,100 a year. It's a little bit above the national average. But here's the punchline. What is the value of that policy in every other state? And I would say on this issue, for the catastrophic resources you need for catastrophic injury, it's zero. You have zero value. What is the value of buying an insurance policy in Florida that's a no-fault state, where you only have $10,000 worth of medical benefits? As a matter of fact, their rate of cost for their premiums a little bit higher than Michigan. So the insurance companies are
and they're not getting anything for it.
They get nothing, $10,000.
That's just so sad.
Florida's going to spend $23 billion, or they did last year, $23 billion on Medicaid. They believe that 30 to 40% of those Medicaid recipients are people that suffered a catastrophic auto accident injury, went bankrupt, and now they're in Medicaid. And that's after, like you said earlier, the whole family went bankrupt, so many of these people are losing their homes over an auto accident because of the bankruptcy. So
and that statistic that you used earlier, that Harvard Medical School or Harvard University.
That's correct. Harvard Medical School study. Yes.
Study said 60% of all bankruptcies are the result of medical
bills.
problems.
That's correct. Medical bills. That's right. Costs for your medical care that exceed your coverage. And we know that the catastrophically injured in auto accidents are at the very high end of that cost because of the severity. A traumatic injury that involves spinal cord injury and a brain injury, you could easily be in the hospital for several months, in the ICU for several months, at $10,000 a night. Now, most people, when they get their health insurance policy from their employer, they never go and look, what are my covered benefits under rehabilitation, or what is my major medical coverage? And people certainly don't do that with auto insurance, in my experience. We go to the agent and we say, hey, can you do me a deal? And they give you a good rate. But whenever you're getting a deal from an insurance company, you're getting a reduction of benefits. So what needs to take place to manifest this in every other state is for citizens who are already laying out the cash to go to their legislators and say, wait a minute, I'm paying for my insurance policy, but in fact it has none of the benefits of the Michigan model, which is priced at $1,100 per year on average. And in that $1,100 is the reinsurance component of $186 per car.
And that's roughly what I'm paying every year for my car insurance here in Boston. And I have an old clinker. I have a very old car. But that's what it costs for me, and I don't get anything for that.
No, you have a tort system in Boston,
yes.
And I think it used to be no fault. But the bottom line is, of the 12 states in America that are no fault, Michigan's the only one with comprehensive care.
Okay, so this we need to wrap this up, but just think for a moment how this would clean up our bankruptcies. It would clean up so many problems in this country.
Medicaid. If you could save $10 billion a year, you could spend that on teachers and roads and police.
Absolutely. It just would make such a huge difference in our healthcare system. And we owe it to all of us. And I am so grateful that you are so passionate. You are an impassioned voice for all of us, and we're so grateful for that, John.
I'm grateful for you, Frankie. Thank you.
Best website.
Best website is neurotraumaassociation.com. Go there, go to the blog, share your story, and tell your legislators about the Mitch Albom public service announcement, and we'll change the world together.
We're going to do it. Thanks so much, John. This is Frankie Boyer. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
From helping florists manage their first payroll, to checking sales projections for logistics companies, to showing garages how much they've been paid, to pursuing leads for multinationals, Sage Software helps businesses manage. Whether it's accounting, payroll, payments, ERP, or CRM, Sage gives you the control to look forward with confidence. Visit sageconfidence.com.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
What do you mean you got there exactly on time?
Ever since we started using Fleetmatics to keep track of our trucks and vans, our business has been running really smoothly.
Are you telling me you've cut your fuel cost?
The boss doesn't have anything to yell about anymore, but some habits are hard to break.
Oh, great. Another call from a happy customer.
Fleetmatics takes the drama out of business. Make fleet tracking more intelligent with real-time tracking, fuel monitoring, and more. Visit fleetmatics.com/start or call 1-877-350-DEMO for intelligence at work.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS that you can't pay? Call now for immediate help. 866-657-8517. At Community Tax Relief, we help consumers like you. If you take on the IRS alone, you could be facing levies, liens, even wage garnishments, personal or business tax issues. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, they will aggressively come after you. Protect yourself and your family today from what the IRS can do to you. Call now. 866-657-8517. They can freeze your bank account, even garnish your wages. Our expert team of tax professionals can solve your tax problems once and for all. Call now for a free 5-minute tax debt analysis. 866-657-8517. 866-657-8517. 866-657-8517.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer. And, you know, people are getting ready for Easter. And it is one of those holidays that kids look forward to because it becomes the Easter hunt. And now, many of you think, what would Easter be without those silly marshmallow treats, those chicks? Well, this is not to destroy or ruin your Easter by any stretch. We're not trying to do that. We're not the Grinch that stole Easter. But Jane Hersey is with us from the Feingold Association. She is the director of the Feingold Association and works so hard trying to educate all of us about the organization that the late Dr. Feingold formed years ago. And what we need to understand is that those products, and there are so many of them, not only are they not great because of the sugar, and one would say, okay, so, you know, once a year, but it's not once a year, it's throughout the year that kids are consuming them. And there are some kids that should not be putting petroleum in their bodies. Yes, you heard me right, petroleum, because that's what those products contain. The dyes in them they are using a petroleum product. And Jane, what a mess we have with our candy today.
Yes, we do, absolutely. But there's a ray of sunshine, and that is that there are candies out there that are high in sugar but don't have petrochemicals in them, and that's what we focus on.
Absolutely. Now, I want to go back to the for many people that are not familiar with Dr. Feingold and what you do at the Feingold, just give us a quick 101.
Sure, be glad to. Dr. Feingold was an eminent allergist and pediatrician. He was chief of allergy. Pardon me, I'm getting over my once-a-year cold, so I hope you'll bear with me.
Yeah, no, you sound fine.
Yeah, thank you. He was chief of allergy at Kaiser Permanente in San Francisco, and what he discovered was that certain chemicals that are becoming more and more widely found in foods were triggering behavior and learning problems in children. And he found that the worst offenders were things like artificial colors and flavors that are primarily made from petroleum. And you were right about that, Frankie. These are petrochemicals. And we would add, pardon me, aspartame to the list and some of the other chemicals that are in use today. So what we do is we show people how to find the foods that they like, the foods they would normally buy, but in a much better version.
So what we may not be aware of is that not only, and we're here to talk about the Easter alternatives and the candy, but not only is this the candy, but it's now chocolate that they've put coloring in, and it's jelly beans, and it's all kinds of things. And part of the problem, and this is what we need to talk about, is that this could trigger a lot of behavioral issues in adults, migraines, and kids' behavioral issues.
Right, and you know, Frankie, behavioral issues in adults as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did. Yes, yes, it's true. It's true.
Oh dear. Yeah, we show people what's in their food and how they can find alternatives that don't have the worst of these additives. And then from there, once somebody understands that what they're eating has a direct effect not only on how they feel and behave, but on their children as well. Then they have the options. They have the knowledge to know what they're eating, how to find foods that are much better tasting, and in a lot of cases actually cost less, that don't have petrochemicals in them. My family's been on the program since 1975. My husband's migraine stopped. My daughter's out-of-control behavior stopped. And we haven't been eating those chemicals since then. And believe me, we find plenty of food that we can eat. It's not hard to do once you know what to look for.
Absolutely. So when you look in the products that have some, and one would say, but Jane, if the products were that bad for us, then why are they allowed to be sold in the stores?
Right. Surely the Food and Drug Administration would never allow a chemical that's harmful to be put in our food.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Pause for laughter. Well, that I used to believe that, but when I believed that was back when doctors were endorsing cigarettes. So a whole lot of stuff has changed, and I sometimes wonder what the Food and Drug Administration does, because they certainly don't control, or they're certainly not the watchdogs for our food supply. I think they're more like the lapdogs for the industry.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Now, I want to ask you another question. When we go to the supermarket and we buy the goodies for the Easter baskets, you have some great alternatives. So it doesn't have to be candy. It can be money in those little plastic Easter eggs. Yeah. It can be little stuffed animals. It can be, little games. There's so many options. And it's even candy that doesn't have the petroleum. It's a natural candy. You don't have to go to Whole Foods anymore. You don't have to go to Trader Joe's. Most supermarkets do carry the natural version.
Right, and Target now has a number of natural options.
Target, good for Target.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Walmart, believe it or not, I found natural chocolate in Walmart. And the bunny, I had two choices there. They had two chocolate bunnies. They were both about 2.5 ounces solid chocolate. And the one that had fake vanilla cost about double the one that did not have any vanillin in it.
So fake vanilla is one of the culprits.
Yes.
Also, we want to be very careful of the aspartame and the artificial sweeteners. Yeah. That's another problem. And I also want... I
was just going to say, if people only cut out one thing, please cut out aspartame. You're doing yourself and your family such a favor if you could get rid of that one sweetener.
I have a friend, and, we went to the movies last week. She had triple amount of butter on the popcorn and the biggest diet soda I have ever seen.
Oh, Frankie, how could
And I sat there, and I just was ready to go out of my mind.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
People don't get it, and they don't understand, and they don't want to hear, because it would mean they couldn't drink it anymore, and that's part of the problem. And I also want to say that I was able to talk with a doctor recently who runs a hospital in New Jersey, and I said to him, "Why are you serving Jell-O? Why?" And he made a promise. He made a promise that by next year he would get rid of the green Jell-O.
Oh, my gosh. A whole year of green Jell-O before he gets rid of it. Well, you might want to tell him.
No, he said he's going to work toward getting rid of it in a year.
Oh, I know that must be so excruciatingly difficult.
I said, what's the problem here? There's nothing real in it.
Yeah.
Everything in it is artificial.
Tell him that the way they make Jell-O, they boil 2 cups of water and mix it with the powder. The way I make natural gelatin, which tastes so much better, I boil 2 cups of real juice and mix it with unflavored gelatin. Now, the last time I checked, boiling water and boiling juice it really wasn't any harder to boil juice than it is to boil water. So why would you eat that other stuff when you don't have to? That's the thing. Nobody has to eat these chemicals once they understand that there are simple alternatives. That's what the Feingold Association does.
And it's not just the candy. I just want to mention that.
Sure.
There's macaroni and cheese. Why do they need to put yellow number 5? There's mayonnaise. Why do they need to put food dyes in mayonnaise? And a lot of the mayonnaise have food dyes in them. So we have, artificial ingredients being thrown at us. We have food dyes. We have fake vanilla.
Yeah, fake sweeteners.
Fake sweeteners.
Now,
let me ask you a question. If you were in a supermarket or in a gourmet store, a gourmet store in Europe, would you find any of that?
No way. They are so far ahead of us. They do not use these as much.
This is always a pleasure. For more information to find out about this incredible organization and the work that Jane does is ADHDdiet.org, ADHDdiet.org, and you can look at hives, bedwetting, behavior issues. You won't believe the difference getting red number 40, yellow number 6, and all of those horrible things that we can't even pronounce out of our diet. And Jane, continue. Best of luck with the work that you do.
Frankie.
Thank you so much. And we will be back in just a moment. This is Frankie Boyer. Stay tuned.
It is commonly recognized among health professionals that many degenerative diseases and autoimmune disorders are linked to improper digestion of our foods and supplements, which can actually lead to malnutrition even if you eat a healthy diet. There's also a direct link between improper digestion and the development of food allergies, food intolerance, or food sensitivities. Enzymes are an important part of the digestive process. From the time food enters the mouth, enzymes are at work breaking the food down to smaller and smaller units until it can be absorbed through the intestinal wall. Absorb-Aid natural digestive enzymes encourages individuals to break the cycle of antacids and acid blockers by restoring normal digestive function. For over 20 years, tens of thousands of individuals with digestive problems have enjoyed the benefits of Absorb-Aid for a healthier solution to digestive upset. Learn more at naturesources.com or 800-827-7656. Absorb-Aid is available at finer health stores nationwide.
The good news is here. More and more dentists and dental hygienists now recommend regular usage of xylitol-rich products to improve oral and dental health. What is xylitol and why is it so effective? The answer is simple. Xylitol, a natural sweetener derived from plants, has natural tartar control properties and has been shown in clinical studies to significantly improve your dental health when combined with proper oral hygiene and regular dental care. The Spry Dental Defense System by Clear, the world's leading xylitol experts, includes xylitol-based dental products for the whole family, such as refreshing Spry Xylitol mouthwash, great-tasting Spry Xylitol toothpaste, and Spry Dental Floss with xylitol to get xylitol's properties working for you between your teeth. Spry also has tooth gel and infant pacifiers with all-natural xylitol to set your children on the path to good oral health from the start. Spry oral health care products are available at Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and other fine health food stores nationwide.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
From helping florists manage their first payroll to checking sales projections for logistics companies to showing garages how much they've been paid to pursuing leads from multinationals, Sage Software helps businesses manage. Whether it's accounting, payroll, payments, ERP, or CRM, Sage gives you the control to look forward with confidence. Visit sageconfidence.com.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. One quick 10-minute call could help you solve your student loan problems. So call right now. Not available in all states. Payments may vary based on income.
800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. 800-685-0129. That's 800-685-0129.
And welcome back. It's Frankie Boyer. We are now joined by Molly Morgan. Molly Morgan has a brand new book out. It is called Skinny Size It. And she is a registered dietitian and works with some... Molly, you work with some very, very impressive people. It's nice to have you with us. You're a board-certified sports specialist dietitian, the owner of Creative Nutrition Solutions, and your clients are major Fortune 500 companies and sports teams and all those wonderful things. And you're a blogger for Men's Fitness, and it's so nice to have you with us.
Thanks. I've really been looking forward to talking with you.
So tell us about the new book.
So Skinny Size It's 101 recipes, 101 that will fill you up and slim you down. And it's all thanks to tons of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains worked into the recipes. Super nutrient rich that will help your health but also help your weight.
You know, people used to think a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, but that's not the thinking anymore, is it?
That thinking is starting to go out the window a little bit. I mean, it's certainly still at the end of the day, calories count, calories in versus calories out. You've got to be active, etc. But yes, focusing on whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, certainly, the way whole grains impact our body versus refined white flour is totally different, and we're starting. I think people are starting to get that, and you feel better when you eat better.
So, just doing simple swaps. So, for example, if I were to make the black bean and quinoa enchilada casserole, you say skinny size it, swapping out regular cheddar for Cabot 50% light cheddar.
Absolutely. And, I'm not a huge fan of, fat-free this, fat-free that. However, there are some fabulous products out there. That cheese that we were just mentioning, the Cabot 1% light cheddar, is made with 1% milk, and that's what the key is there. It's a lower-fat product. It melts great, tastes great, so you still get that cheesy, creamy flavor, but without all the calories that come with when you're using regular cheddar or other higher fat cheeses.
You have some I mean, some of these recipes are so easy and really delicious, like the wasabi avocado dip with crispy wontons. Those sound delicious, and they look real easy to do.
Yes, and that's, I think, a key, is that healthy eating doesn't have to be super complicated and time-consuming. There are tons of simple recipes that you can do and work into your eating routine that really can make a huge difference in your overall health. Another is that I love is the salsa mole, I call it, which is like guacamole, but it's using salsa to add a lot of flavor to those avocados when you mash them up. And then salsa is naturally low in calories, so it really helps stretch that salsa, the avocados out and works that salsa flavor in. It's a win-win.
The mango, frozen mango smoothie, frozen mangoes, Greek yogurt, Barleans. I love their mango peach or mega swirl fish oil, which is so good for you. And you don't even have to put the orange juice. I've done it without it, and it's still delicious. You can use regular water or coconut milk and play around with it, and it's just delicious.
Absolutely. And, mango is actually my favorite fruit, and I do love the Barleans, the Mega Swirl oils. It's a wonderful way to add flavor to smoothies, but at the same time you're adding either flax or fish oil, and you're reaping all the benefits that come along with those omega-3 fats to help our health and help your heart and inflammation and everything else that comes along with those healthy fats.
So you're not concerned about the glycemic index, because mango is supposedly very high glycemic on the index.
It is. So when you look at glycemic index of foods, I do think it's something to consider. Although as soon as you pair something that's high glycemic, like mango, with Greek yogurt, which is super high in protein helps balance out blood sugars. You really can start to balance out those high glycemic foods by pairing them with either whole grains or protein to help, bring down that blood sugar boost that comes with the high glycemic food. So I think that is important to think about, and you're absolutely right. It's something to consider, but when it's balanced out, I think you can still work it in.
Okay. High fat used to be a problem in this country. People were fat phobic. I love fat, good healthy fat. I love it. I love coconut oil, and I love the flax oil, and I love using really good, beautiful oils that are not drenched in detergent or compromised in any way.
Absolutely. And you know what? The whole low fat phase, I think, is finally starting to fall flat. And, fat worked in, let's face it, fat keeps us full. And you do need to work in the healthiest kinds of fat, as you mentioned. And when you're paying for oils and you see the price tag sometimes on those high-quality oils and you think, oh, does it really matter? It absolutely does, and it's totally worth every penny. It's an area in the grocery store I really think makes sense to pay that extra bit of money for.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. I was just in the gourmet Italian grocery store in my neighborhood here in Boston's historic North End, Little Italy, and it was $32 for this beautiful bottle of olive oil. And he said, this is a handmade, it's only olives that have been first pressed. It's organic. Everything about it was so beautiful. And the question is, if you're going to put that kind of, if you think you're going to get olive oil that's pure for $4.99, think again. You're right. You're absolutely right, because, Molly, it's not going to happen.
No. And, I think of all the different ways that, as a society we spend money in ways that don't help our health. So I think, a lot of times if you think about, how am I going to spend, $20, or you mentioned that bottle particularly was $32. But if you start to examine the different ways we kind of are wasteful sometimes with money, you can usually find the money that will then come back and provide your body benefits. You'll actually reap the benefits of spending that extra when it comes to choosing those high quality, especially when it comes to...
Oh, we're out of time. Hey, this was great. Molly Morgan, Skinny Size It. Molly Morgan, morganrd.com is the website. Thank you so much, Molly.
Frankie, thanks for having me. Great to talk with you.
And we will be back next time. This has been another edition of the Frankie Boyer Show. Thanks for listening, everybody, and you make it a great day and smile.
The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609, 817-274-1609, or at biztalkradio.com.
IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar. The number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits fell last week, reaching its lowest level in almost 7 years, suggesting a revival in the labor market. New claims for unemployment benefits dropped by 32,000 to 300,000 for the week ending April 5th, according to the Labor Department. The number is at its lowest level since May 2007, months before the financial crisis, and the decline in claims